Okay, so we're going to get started in the chair. Find a tall seat. Ground your sitting bones. Even as you're in the chair, ground the four corners of your feet. Inner heel, outer heel, big toe mound to little toe mound. See that there's a 90-degree angle at the ankle and at the knee and at the hip. We call that 90, 90, 90. Is a good guide for sitting. Let's begin with some cat and cow. Inhaling as you roll toward the front of the sitting bones, lifting and opening the chest, drawing the shoulders back, squeezing those shoulder blades toward each other, lifting the gaze. And as you exhale, curling, making a C curve, ooh, from tail to crown. That feels really good. First movement of the sort for me for this morning. Inhaling, lifting, and arching. And exhaling and curling. Take this in your own time. You don't have to follow me. Follow your own breath. We're just starting to link breath and movement. You can take this as minimally as or as maximally as you wish. You could just focus on one part of the spine, if that's best for you. You can also stop anywhere and just hold. Just starting to link breath and movement. Soften in any places that don't need to do the work. Good, and then come back to your neutral alignment. Again, sitting tall on the sitting bones. And we're going to make little circles with the torso, so just keeping the torso in one piece. Can go in either direction, starting small, rotating, feeling the core start to engage, the abdominal muscles, the back. And then you can begin to widen the circles. And notice that you need a little more engagement, a little more corseting of the core. It's really amazing. It's not much of an action, but you can really feel the engagement right away. And then come back to center, pause, and go in the other direction. So start very small, just a little rotation. Notice the muscles engage. Notice any shifts in the pelvis as you go. And then begin to make the circles wider. So from crown to tail, it's one piece. There's no bend in the spine. We're just trying to feel those abdominal muscles beginning to fire, beginning to engage. Just a little wake up from the core. I think sometimes we feel our arms and we feel our legs, but we kind of lose the core, and we really need that for our best alignment and greatest ease. And then come back to center. Inhale, nice and tall. And then we'll exhale and take a side bend over to the right. Maybe the arm is extended straight. If you have any problems with your elbow or shoulders, you can bend, or you can keep the arm down even. The main thing is length through the torso, ground through that left sitting bone. Get a nice stretch through the psoas and through the whole side body. And then inhale, come on up, and exhale in the center. And we'll take the other side, inhaling, lifting the spine, and exhaling, taking that side bend. Again, ground through that right sitting bone. Feel the length in both sides of the waist. And then inhale to come on up, and we'll take a twist. Once again, inhale, feel the length upward, and the extension also downwards, that the sitting bones are really grounding. Exhale, take a twist to the right. Inhale through center. And exhale, take a twist to the left. All the air out as you swivel the rib cage. Once again, inhale center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. And exhale, twist left. Doesn't need to be your biggest twist. You can make it gentle. And then inhale, come back to center. Pause here. I'm going to take another twist. Bring the legs, ankles, knees together. Inhale, tall. Exhale, turn to the right. Take your left palm to the outside of the right knee. If this is plenty for you, stay here. If you want to go a little deeper, play with this a little differently. Come on down where your elbow is at the knee. Sorry, I'm wearing so much black. You can't see so much. Maybe that will help. Spine is quite long. Extend, if it's available to you, that right arm up toward the ceiling. So really like open your arms, like you're ready to hug the whole world here. And then bend the elbows, take prayer hands, and use the palms pressing against each other to help leverage possibly a little more twist of the rib cage. But again, the main thing is inhaling into length. Length for the spine, space for the discs, openings for the vertebrae. Keep your head and neck in line. And you'll see where you want your gaze to be depending on your cervical vertebrae and their needs. And then when you're ready, slowly release. Come on back up. Pause here and breathe. We'll take the other side. Inhale, tall. And exhale, twist left. So first just finding length and twist. And then come on down, if you'd like. Elbow to the outside of the knee. Again, spine, torso, very long. Very long. There's no rounding. There's no bend here. The hinge is at the hips. And then left arm up toward the ceiling. And then bend the elbows, take the palms together and press. Knees stay together. Inhale, long line, tailbone to crown. And exhale, spin. Trying to be as efficient as you possibly can here. Take time as you need, and then when you're ready, slowly unravel, come on up. One more thing for the cervical vertebrae. Inhale. Exhale, take the right ear to the right shoulder. Bring the right arm up and over. Let the left arm just dangle. Let it hang heavy, fingertips long. Good. Pull a little bit on the head. Good. And now press the head back into the hand for 5 seconds. So you're pressing back in this direction. And then release and see if you can get a little more length and stretch out of that. And one more time, press the head into the hand, resist. Good. And then come into the stretch. Just a nice way to work with that resistance, and then release. And let's take the other side. Left ear to left shoulder, left arm up and over. Give a little pull to the head. Good. And then press the head back into the hand. And release. Press the head up into the hand. And release. Just helps you deepen the stretch a little bit. And then release. Wonderful. I want to share a few words. So, as I said, today's the 12th of Shvat, and this Wednesday night, Thursday, is Tu B'Shvat. Celebration, birthday of the trees, the natural world. It's also Parshat Yitro. Last Shabbat, we crossed the sea from slavery into freedom. And now it's up to us to figure out how to formulate ourselves into a fair and just society. And so at the end of the Parsha, we receive the 10 Commandments, of course. I want to address something in the beginning of the Parsha, which is about discernment. So Moses is from morning to night sitting and taking the complaints of the Israelites, and he's doing everything himself. He says, when they have a dispute, it comes before me, and I decide between one person and another, I make known the laws and teachings of God. And Yitro, his father-in-law, Parsha is named for Yitro, when he saw how much he was doing for the people, he says to Moses, what is this thing that you're doing to the people? Mahadavar hazeh. Why do you act alone while all the people are standing before you from morning to evening? And he says, the thing that you're doing, lo tov hadavar, it's not right, it's not good. It's not good. Surely you're going to wear yourself out. These people as well, for the task is too heavy for you. Interesting word, ki chaved mimcha, he says. It's too heavy. You can't take it on alone. So Yitro advises, seek out from among the people those who are qualified and have levels of magistrates deciding over other people. Make it easier for yourself by letting them share the burden with you. They can handle the minor disputes, and the major disputes they'll bring to you. And so Moses did this. He started to delegate so that he wouldn't wear himself out. I want to share some Torah from this wonderful book by Rabbi Shefa Gold, Torah Journeys, it's called. So she says, how do we prepare ourselves for the moment of revelation? How do we find our way to Sinai? Yitro instructs Moses in the laws of empowerment, how to see and call forth the qualities of leadership in others, and how to share in the joy and the burden of being human. If you sit alone with the burden of truth, it will weigh you down. And if you're serving people from morning till night, you can't become a proper vessel for revelation. I often say, Shefa often says, my first practice is sanity. My first practice is sanity. Sanity for me is the condition that allows for the full functioning of my body, feelings, thought, and awareness, which then allows me to be present for revelation. Sanity requires just the right balance of solitude and service, spaciousness and stimulation. If Yitro came to you in his wisdom and observed the course of your day, if he had a chance to watch how you balanced the requirements for wholeness, what might he say to you? So she advises us, make a commitment to sanity and wholeness by taking Yitro's advice to heart. Be honest about your personal requirements for sanity. What must you do each day in order to stay whole and alert? I love the way she has expressed this piece of Torah for us, and I want to add to it, when it comes to yoga, we're talking about alignment, skillful alignment, right? So Yitro is talking about skillful discernment and delegation of leadership, and we do the same delegation of leadership in the body. If we are out of balance in the musculoskeletal system, there's too much effort for ligaments and tendons. We don't want that. We don't want to lean into ligaments and tendons. So how can we stay aware, work less, be more discerning, engage the parts that actually need to be engaged to hold us up in the most effective and efficient way? So being in alignment is a huge step to avoiding or managing chronic pain, any kind of pain, right? Because things start to develop when we get out of balance. So we want to work on proper alignment so that we can work from the right place and not make it, as Yitro said, kaved, not make it heavy on us, not overly not overly efforting. And in this way, we can bring more ease and be available for revelation, as she says. So if you'll come to stand, you can have your blocks in front of you at the front of the mat on the highest level. You could also put a chair in front of you. Take the feet hip width apart, find mountain pose. Inhale, soften as the breath comes in. As you exhale, we're going to roll down the spine by taking chin to chest and really lifting up as we roll down. Light bend on the knees. Coming down. Hands to the blocks or to your shins. When you get here, inhale. Begin to straighten through the legs, lift the kneecaps. We keep a micro bend on the legs always, but lift the kneecaps, engage the quads, and lengthen the crown forward, flat back. Exhale, soften, bend the knees. You can even sit it back a little bit, hang into a nice ragdoll. Let the head go. Shake the head a little bit. No. Ease for the neck. Good. Inhale, fill the pelvic bowl. Fill the rib cage. As you exhale, press through the feet and start to roll up the spine. Draw the navel toward the spine. Protect the spine as you roll up vertebra by vertebra, coming on up. Good. So you can take the roll down or you can follow me and take the flat back for the next piece. We're going to inhale the arms out and up overhead. Exhale and fold it forward, flat back, swan dive over, hands to the blocks or to your shins. Inhale, lengthen, flat back, draw the navel toward the spine. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, we'll reverse that swan dive or roll it up. So either flat back or rolling to come up, arms up, and hands back to the chest. Good. We're going to build a little bit from here. Inhale the arms up and exhale, dive it over or roll it down. Hands to the blocks or the shins. Inhale, flat back. And then we're going to exhale and step the right foot back to a lunge and lower the knee. Good. You can have hands to the blocks. And just find a little bit of movement, maybe side to side, front and back. Just let the pelvis be heavy, tailbone long. A little bit of a stretch for the quads and hip flexors on the right. Good. Little bit of flow now, inhaling here. Exhale, draw the hips back and the left leg towards straight as you fold, hamstring stretch. Inhale, come forward. Let the hips again drop forward. And exhale, sit it back. One more time like this. Inhale forward. And exhale, sit it back. Come on forward. Tuck those back toes. And let's start to build to a high lunge. Taking the hands to the left thigh, and just first finding a really, really long torso again. Really finding some efficiency here, right? Make the large muscle groups work for you, the legs. And then press on up if you like. The hands can be at the hips. If you want to take the arms up, you can to goalpost. Go eagles, or up. Had to say that. I'm from Philly. Sorry for the Kansas City fans. And really just settling into this high lunge here. Again, large muscle groups. Let them do the work. Good. And then come on forward, lengthen forward, take the hands to the blocks. Step the right forward to meet the left, and then just switch. Take the left leg back, and we'll start the build again. So take the left knee down. And again, moving the hips in any direction that just feels good and right to you. Sometimes a little bit of side to side is great also, in addition to the front back. Good, inhale here, and exhale, sit it back, start to extend long through the right leg. You can pull up the toes into a flex for a little more. Inhaling, come forward. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, sit back. Come on forward once again. Tuck those back toes. Send the heel back. Lift the knee. Hands to the thighs. Good. Engage those lower abdominal muscles as you extend and as you lift. You can also take your hands to a chair for some support and stability. You could also widen the legs along the mat for more stability if you need, right? Hands to the hips or arms up. You decide and just see, how can I just let the tailbone be heavy, pelvis be even, and let the large muscle groups do the work. Couple more breaths here. And let the inhale fill the rib cage, fill the upper chest. Let the exhale go in the reverse direction. Emptying out completely. Fold forward, hands to the blocks. Step the left foot to meet the right. Take one more forward bend here. Good. And then bend the knees. Let your buttocks even drop a little bit. Just really hang. Drape your torso over the thighs. Inhale here, fill the pelvic bowl. Exhale, press through the feet as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Good. So we warmed up the large muscle groups a little. Let's use them. I'm going to take a couple of standing poses. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold, so I just need a little lozenge with me. Hope it's not disturbing to you. Take the legs wide. Turn the left toes in and the right toes out. The front heel is in line with the back arch. Hands can be at the hips, or arms can be extended shoulder height. Extend through the fingers, press palms down, either way. The gaze is over the right shoulder. Inhale here. Exhale, bend through the knee. You just want to make sure that the knee doesn't go past the ankle. If it is doing that, you want to widen your legs. The back leg is straight. A few breaths here. Again, let the work be in the legs. Let the lift be in the spine with ease. And see if there's anywhere else in your body, like your jaw, your neck, that's trying to hold you up. And see if you can delegate. Just like Yitro says to Moshe, delegate the work away from here and over to here. By use of our alignment. Let the shoulders drop as well. Shoulder blade tips down the back. And then when you're ready, press in to the legs and come on up. Switch the legs. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, bend through that left knee. And just find your way into the pose. You can bend and straighten a couple times first to get in. And you also want to see that the torso doesn't lean towards the front knee, but really stays through that plumb line of center. So that's helpful also. Another breath or two. And then come on up. Hop or heel toe. Step the feet together. In honor of Tu B'Shvat, of course, we've got to do tree pose today. So shift over so that the right leg is your trunk. And let your left leg turn out from the hip. So you can kickstand it if you like for some balance. Right here, you can come to the ankle or the calf, or you can come above the knee. See wherever you want to have tree pose today. Allow the foot and the leg to really press toward each other. And take the palms together at the heart. This is also helpful for balance. Pressing the palms evenly, right to left, helps the legs do the same. As you ground through the four corners of the feet, you're also lifting, you're allowing this lift to come right up through the center line. Let your gaze be soft and steady, and if you fall out, you just come back in. No big deal. And then when you're ready, release. And we'll take the other side. So shifting over, left leg, standing leg, nice girding here. With our trunk, our roots extending downward. And then just see where you want to put the other foot. Hip points even. Palms together. Let the gaze be a few feet ahead of you. Nice and easy. Again, you fall out, no problem. You come back in. And usually there's always one side that's better at balance than the other. Use your breath to help you. And then when you're ready, come on out. So I read something that said an indicator for longevity is if you can stand on one leg 15 seconds, right? And I think we as yogis really have a pretty good handle on that. If we work on our balance daily and do something like, even just like this, just shifting our weight and balancing, we really teach our nervous systems the ability to shift and hold balance, right? Kind of through any condition. And in fact, this will help prevent falling now and later down the road. So it's really important to work on your balance. Again, that brings us back to even just those torso circles in the chair that we began with are terrific in helping actually scaffold ourselves for balance. Let's come onto our backs. You're going to grab a block. First, just lay it down. Let's take constructive rest position. And if you want to have a little bit of cushion and lift behind the back of your head, you can put your blanket there. And bend the knees and have the soles of the feet to the floor. Bend the elbows and rest the palms on the low ribs or the low belly. Just be here and breathe and allow the torso to be received by and supported by the earth, the mat. So again, this is part of Yitro's message to Moses, right? It's like let yourself be supported here by what there is to give you support so that you can be in alignment. You have leadership over your own movement. Really important. And then as you're ready, press into the feet, lift the hips, and you can place the block right under your pelvis, right under your sacrum, the big bony part of your spine. And if you find that the block is too much, too heavy, then take the folded blanket under your hips. Just give yourself a little bit of elevation. This is a low bridge, and we're just going to rest here a moment. And then we're going to go into a stretch for the hip flexors. That again is really helpful in delegating responsibility, bringing ease to the places that don't need to tighten so that we can bring responsibility into the large muscle groups. So let the sacrum, let the pelvis be heavy and really sink to the block with each exhale. Have the sense, you can just think of the imagery of the tailbone lengthening toward the shins. Slow, smooth, steady breaths. And then we're going to take that right knee And we're going to hug it into the chest, towards the chest. Take your hands and clasp them behind the right thigh. So it's not like a huge hug in. We don't want to mess with the evenness of the pelvis here, right? So it's just a little bit hugged in. Let the thigh rest into the clasped hands. That is away from the body for this moment. Okay, and then flex through the left foot. Toes are up, and the heel, as if you're digging into sand. Send the heel away into length. The heel is in line with the sitting bone. If this is not good on your low back, you could take the left leg wider out to the left. Okay, but if it's okay for you, keep it in line with the sitting bone. And if this is like, no way, this is not going to work for my psoas, then you're going to back it up. You're going to remove the block from under the pelvis and just do this lying flat. Okay? So what we get, though, with this elevation of the pelvis, if you're doing that, is just a little more for the hip flexors. The left leg is really engaged. Foot is flexed. When we say hip flexors, there are actually 5 muscles. I think the psoas is really the most well-known of them. For anatomy geeks, there's also, I think, sartorius. I want to say pectineus, I might be wrong. Don't remember the others. Keep breathing. When you're ready, you can release. Bend through the left knee, bring the sole of the foot back to the floor. Bring the right sole of the foot back to the floor. Before we go to the other side, just notice what you're feeling. Anything there is to notice. If you have pain or strain anywhere, find a different position. This should be easeful, right? So it's not your problem if it's not easeful. It's the problem of the pose. It's just not your friend, which is fine. Choose new friends. You could just come to flat. We should never feel bad like we're less than if we're not getting into the pose, right? We just need to change it up and figure out what's right for us. The pose needs to work for us. The actions need to work for us. Let's take the other side. Bend the left knee. Take the hands behind the thigh, and this time change the pattern, the habit pattern of the interlace. Just put the other finger on top. So it'll feel a little strange, but it's good to change habit. And let the thigh drop into the hands, and then flex through that right foot, and you got it. Extend the leg long. And you really want to keep it engaged, just nicely lengthened and engaged. And see how it is on this second side, right? And then you can start to play with how much you draw that left knee toward you. It might be a little, it might be a lot, but it's really going to depend on what's going on through the front of the right hip. This is a beautiful stretch, really like a nice one to have in the toolbox. And it's just really good for, as I said, general health, for kind of making sure we're not locked in through all our sitting and computer use and driving, that these muscles get oxygen, get blood, and that we have ease through them, right, to alleviate back pain and other pains that can become chronic conditions. So I was reminding myself of this stretch last week and really wanted to bring it to you. We haven't done it in a long while, I don't think, so that you could have it also in your toolbox. And when you're ready, you can bend that left knee, bring it back. Both feet back to the floor. And then press through the feet, lift the hips, remove the block, and come on down vertebra by vertebra. Good. Before we finish, let's take a lying down twist. We'll do it like this. Extend the left leg, draw the right knee in, take the left hand to the right knee, and the right arm out to the side, shoulder height, T position. Inhale here, and then exhale. We'll take a twist, bringing that right knee over to the left, down to whatever extent you wish. Keep that palm grounded on the right. This is also a really good part of the PT regimen for any lumbar, sacrum, low back stuff. And then come on back to center. And we'll switch sides. Right leg long, left knee bent, right hand to left knee, left arm out to the side, shoulder height. Inhale, feel the shape that you are. And exhale, just spin. Left knee down towards the right. Keep extending. You can even flex through that right heel. Just notice where you feel this. Continue to breathe. Come on back when you're ready. And hug the knees toward the chest. And now you can just take anything you like to. Just bring some ease for the back before we settle into stillness. So it's maybe hugging it and it's maybe making circles with the kneecaps, or maybe rocking a little side to side or front and back, or perhaps something else entirely. So just take about 45 seconds to close up your movement practice today. And I do think that I created this series along the lines of Yitro's advice to help ease up some of the smaller, tighter places so that we can naturally come into better alignment to use our larger muscle groups in a more effective fashion, and to find some space along the spine for the vertebrae. So setting up for Shavasana, my piece of advice today for a variation you might like is bring the blanket under your head and bring a block under each knee or each thigh. You'll see where you want it. Directly under the knee or under the thigh. That'll help bring some ease to the low back. You can shake the legs a little in and out. You can take your hands to the back of your skull and just pull the head away from the neck, away from the shoulders a little. Oh, ganze machaya. And then put it down. Bring the arms by your sides, palms facing up, and take rest. Couple minutes of silence, then I'll be back to bring you out. Begin to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And starting to come back to the room, back to your space. Take your time, all the time you need to come up to a comfortable seat. May this kavanah continue, and my wish for you this week is that you find ways to delegate in finding ease through the body, share the burden with the large muscle groups, and as Rabbi Shefa Gold says, to put your sanity first and see what that will require. See where you need help. Ask for help. Share your leadership, whether it's in a small space or a large space. So that, right, for the sake of lema'an, that we can receive Torah, that we can receive revelation, we can receive what's the most important. As we close our practice, we never hold the benefits for ourselves. We send them out to anyone who's suffering, anyone who's sick, anyone who needs healing. That may include yourself. Today is day 493, and we pray for the safety of hostages still held in Gaza. 73 still there. 34 confirmed dead by the IDF. We hope for return. We saw the return on Shabbat of Elisha Rabbi, Or Levi, and Ohad Ben Ami, crossing their own sea into freedom and now here for rehabilitation. Our prayers are with them. Our prayers are with the people of Gaza and those throughout the world who are suffering. And as usual, we'll close with Achenu, Kol Beit Israel, from our morning liturgy. I want to share today with you a video. A music school was created in the south by Tamar and Sagi in 2014. And on October 7th, Tamar and her whole family were killed. Sagi Dekelchen remains captive in Gaza, and these are their students. You may have seen this video before. We've played it here before, but we'll share it as our prayer for safe return of the hostages.
One, two, one, two.
אחינו כל בית ישראל, אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המעגות שיעבוד לגאולה השתה בעגלה ובזמן קריב השתה